Hello everybody. I kind of wanted to do a really quick video. I promise I'll keep this quick on what's been going on here in Southern California. We are getting tons of rain, thunder, lightning, windstorms. Things are blowing everywhere. Let me see if I can turn you around and show you. See that palm tree? Oh, it's starting to rain again. It's got only 3 brown leaves up there. The other 20 are all over. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut this short because now it's raining again. We have a major storm coming in, but I just wanted to say hello. And while I'm out here, I've been hiding in the house. I figured I would dump some more kitchen scraps, and now I'm shaking you all over. Look at this. There's my red bucket, and everything is going in there, and it is pouring. I'm out of here. Okay, I can't do this. It's absolutely pouring. See if I can get under the eaves. So now I'm under the eaves of the house, and it is starting to come down. The birds want me to leave because Gary put the bowl underneath the table. He had to close up the umbrella because the umbrella almost took off, and he had to bring in some of my little wind toys out there that spin in the garden because they took off, but they're all good. The umbrella got closed. The birds are really happy to have someplace out of the rain that they can eat. So he's been keeping that bowl full of food. I saw him early this morning on the camera come out here and give the birds food. It was so cute. I have to get a better camera because it was just adorable how they all waited and then they just came in and they were so loud and screaming with joy that there was food. They were calling everybody and fighting and just whatever they do. Look at this rain. The hummingbirds out my kitchen window, see, they don't like it. Oh, got a windstorm again. It's going to blow into the house. The hummingbirds have been trying to find shelter where they can hide. And they've been feeding, let me step back out. They've been feeding under the eaves of the house. They prefer that. So they're not using the outside feeder. See, there's a feeder there and it's getting too wet. So they're feeding under the eaves and they've really enjoyed that. They've been hanging on the wire, hanging on the feeder itself, and hanging out, and literally hundreds have been coming in at night. And I feel so bad because they really look cold and wet, but there's nothing I can do but just offer them food, and that's the best I can do. As far as our fountains, I'm not running the two, I have only 2 electric ones. I'm not running the 2 electric ones at all, no reason to. My solar ones only go on when the little itsy bitsy sun comes out, and they don't need it. They've got plenty of water, and we've got water pooling in areas, but you know, Gary learns from that. Where you've got water pooling, he knows where to direct it for the next storm. Who knows, maybe this is the last one, but he knows how to direct it once things start to pool. We do collect a lot of water and we do have barrels full. We're not set up to collect it where we can use it all year, but I do collect rainwater because I like starting some seeds in them. And then when it's gone, it's gone. And then for days I don't have to water. I just pick up the black tubs I've got. The ones that are not in the barrels on the side. See the tubs down there? Just pick that up and dump it into the plants. But there's the bird. They want me to leave because they want to come over here and feed. And I do understand by moving the bowl off the tree stump that we usually have it on or hanging, that it is changing the feeding habit of some of the birds. Your white-crowned sparrows, your house finches, they will feed up or on the ground. Your California towhee, they'll go up or on the ground. They're larger than the white crowns, and they're more kind of a huskier built, long tail, and they have an orange cast to them and bright orange eyes too. But your spotted towhee, the real beautiful ones, the black and the orange, as you're seeing now, they never go into the bowl. Not here. They're ground feeders, and what they usually do is feed around the bowl where the bowl has been situated, and they feed on the ground. And as you can see, they flick their food because what they're doing is they're not flicking the food. They go around on the ground where the leaves are and the wood chips or the soil, whatever's there, and they're scratching like a chicken, kind of, except they're using both feet, scratching and flicking the ground to kick up and get to little bugs underneath, seeds underneath. They'll eat sprouting seeds, whatever they find. But now that the bowl has been put under the table, because it's been pouring and raining, he has found that the food has been put on the ground. And they're very shy. They're usually under plants. They'll come out from under the plants quickly and dig around and look for food. They have a beautiful little twill in their song, kind of it's very pretty song. And now he's coming under the table to feed. So that's actually a first for me today. I have not seen him in the bowl. I've seen him around the bowl, but I've never seen him go up into the bowl. So today I get the pleasure of sitting here in the house, looking out to the garden. So I'm dry and they're dry because they're under the table, and watch the spotted towhee go into the bowl and eat. They are beautiful with that rust red orange on the sides, light kind of belly, and look at the black wings with the spots, and the eyes just as red as the coloring he's got. Very attractive bird. But they don't go in bowls. They forage normally on the ground. Very rarely will you see them go in bowls. Look at that, the white belly. Beautiful color contrast on that bird. Yeah, somebody did a good job on designing him. One of my favorites in the garden. Just kind of a rare sight. Though I know they're always there, they're always hiding, but you hear their song, kind of a whistle. That's how you know they're around. That real pretty twirly little whistle they do. But that's it. You know, I'll show you the pulling and the pulls and the puddles and everything going on. The plants are loving this. Look at that kale that's growing there. Not kale, I'm sorry. Well, there is kale there too. That's the dazzling kale. Oh, my lens is wet. But there is collard, and it just grew in all different directions. You know, I've had people say, oh, we want your collard seed. Let me tell you, that's plain old regular collard, just from the nursery. It was supposed to grow a collard head, you know, the whole bushy collard, then you cut it off and you start over. I don't cut a lot of my plants off. I let them continue to grow, and that's why they're doing that. Everybody does it the way they want to do it and what works for you. See, what I can do is take that collard and the ones down there. There's not the tree collards, a regular collard. I have 3 of them. I think there's 3. There's actually 4 that are growing wild, and they're now 3 years old. And I leave them. And if you want fresh plants, put some pots around them. Put them in the ground around them. Leave them if you want to let them grow. I mean, I think it's just, I'm amazed at that trunk that they grow on there. And they literally grow like a tree, a bush. And then they'll grow offshoots, and you can snap off the small offshoots if you like your plant and make more, which I've got growing in different places. Just by snapping it off, sticking it in some damp soil, it will take root and grow a whole new plant. So does my dinosaur kale. And that's the way I grow. What I'm going to do this year, and I'm really planning on not just working in my garden more, because I really do work in my garden a lot. A lot of times I come out here in the evening and work. I want to really get more videos up on what I'm doing. Not that I'm doing it right, because I'm probably not. Ideas. I want to share whatever works for me and whatever doesn't work for me. Something that may not work for me may work wonderful for you, and vice versa. You know, I watched last night, there was nothing on that I wanted to see, so I watched a gardening show, Gardener's World, from 2005. And it was so fascinating. And somebody, you know, said something that just made me think. It made me think. Even though it had nothing to do with anything that I was going to do, it sparks your thought. I saw another thing that somebody was doing that had nothing to do with the way I garden, and yet even though it was a craft idea, it gave me another idea for my garden that I'm going to try to build, see if it works, and if it does, I'll share it with you. It's not so much that you may learn from me or someone else. If you're fascinated with growing food, it's what, and you are definitely working in your garden, it's what you may pick up from somebody. It doesn't mean that you're going to absolutely learn something, but what it is it sparks something. And it's like, you know what? I never thought of it. And somebody could say purple and you think green. You know, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times words, somebody doing something sparks an idea for me, and I bet you it does for you too. And that's what I want to do. If I share a lot, and maybe my unsuccessful thoughts and things, somebody may say, well, you know what? Don't do it that way. Do it this way. And then it's like, oh my goodness, that little tiny tweak can change everything. So I've got ideas on how I'm going to keep the rabbits off certain things in my yard. I've got ideas on how to make these little teepee things I'm going to try. I actually want to grow more. And you know what is fascinating about gardening? Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to eat. You can have any hobby in the world, and I don't want to name a hobby because there's so many of them, but you can name a hobby and people could, if something happened, live without that hobby. Maybe not easily, but with food, everybody needs to eat. And that's why I think it's so important. And also, I want to make sure that I don't ever put anybody down on anything, because again, I always feel what works for somebody else may not work for me, and vice versa on that too. Even the grocery stores. There's a lot of things I wasn't aware of. And I do want to bring awareness. Absolutely, I want to bring awareness. But I'm not saying anything's bad. I understand why food is being irradiated. I understand why they're putting it through a wash called new. I understand why they're using pesticides. I understand all the things they're doing to our food that is not that great, but I understand why. Longevity. Not on us, on the food, on the shelf life. That's money. And I understand that. So if we can combine the food that we grow with the food that we buy, we'll at least be putting good things in our body. And that's what I think we need to do. I've had people come to me and say they don't have a yard. You don't need a yard to grow. You really don't. And I'm going to prove that. I have a patio where I'm growing so much food, not a bit of soil on there, and it's growing. Well, you know what? I'm going to grow more this year. And I'm going to show that you don't need a yard to grow. You can grow on a balcony. If you're in the microgreens, you can grow in the house. I'm not personally into microgreens, but that's a wonderful thing to do. But that's something else. To me, it wouldn't sustain me, but it probably would, you know. But I want to see the plants grow. I want to keep the plants growing. As my dinosaur kale back there, 3, 4 years old, whatever it is now. Some of my tomato plants are getting older. My sprouting broccoli that's sitting right in front of me covered in birds right now, that is like 3 or 4 years old. I'm losing track of time. I've got to look into this all, you know, on the time-wise. And document. If you've got a cell phone, if you've got a little camera, document what you're doing. Even if you think something's not going to work. And the reason you want to do that is there's so many things that I have forgotten. Even something I was doing in the house now. I suddenly remembered I didn't do it that way. Actually, I was using the bedroom window to sprout a bunch of seeds in. Not my kitchen window. So I'm going to move some stuff into another room I've got. The thing is, you forget. People forget. We've got so much going on. So we need to document some more things, even if it's not to put a video up on YouTube, but just for ourselves to go back when there's nothing to do, sit down, look through your photos in your garden, what you did last year, and you might be amazed on stuff you totally forgot. So that's what I'm going to do this year, is try to get more things up with ideas and thoughts. I want to get more things growing. I really do need to set up carrots and more beets and not have the occasional turnip or the occasional beet growing and the occasional carrot. I need to get more of that growing, because organic in carrots is not always as organic as some people think. There's still something on a lot of carrots to prevent them from going bad after they're picked. And if anything is considered a cleaning agent, then it's not considered pesticide. It's not considered bad, because cleaning agents are rated differently with the USDA. So you have, and it depends on the cleaning agent as well. And I don't want to get into all that. All I want to do is talk about awareness. What's in our food? What are we eating? You know, I saw a thing on the news the other day. Oh, somebody found a piece of wood in fried chicken. gluten-free fried chicken, they were saying. Well, you know what? They found a teeny piece of wood. Did they know that cellulose that is used in a lot of breading and things is actually wood? A lot of people don't know that. We are eating wood. It's clean. It's natural, I guess. We'll digest it or not digest it. It will go through, maybe like flaxseed goes through. But the point is, a lot of people are unaware of so many things. I just recently found out that a lot of foods that have no nitrates or nitrites in them, they don't. Not the chemical one, but they do still have it. It's made from celery extract, celery juice. Another topic I don't want to get into, just awareness. So little things like that, just awareness is what we need, and little things to think about. And I do want to grow more, and we do eat a lot of greens. I've got a new green drink that I definitely have to get the video up. It's a light green drink, but it's straight from my garden, and it's really good, and you can make enough to last you for a couple days in the fridge. It's a whole different technique than the green drink I put up, so I want to get that up real soon. It'd be easier just to do it. I don't know if you can see, the tree is full of birds. So that's it, but I just wanted to say hello, tell you it's been raining and pouring, and it's just, well, it's wet outside. Things are leaking. What are you going to do? You know, it's just we've had more rain than we've had in a long time. And then we've got seagulls up in the air. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. The seagulls come in inland when it rains. I'm not sure what brings them. I've never looked that up, but it seems like when it rains, they come inland and then they go back to the ocean. They're all through the sky right now. Those are all seagulls. Isn't that beautiful? Probably 50 plus seagulls. Nature is amazing. Also, you got nothing to do and you think, oh, I've watched all the gardening shows that Robbie and Gary put up. I watched all the shows that all the other wonderful gardeners that are putting up on YouTube did. I watched them already. No, you didn't. And the reason I say that is there's so many that we've all put up. I am watching from 2005. I go further back if I can find them. Gardening techniques and ideas don't get old. In fact, some of the old ones aren't even brought up now. And that's when I turn around and I watch that and go, wow, they were doing that back then. I can do that too. That's one thing, is you learn from the old stuff. So go back, watch people's old stuff. See what shows you can see. I mean, we used to have wonderful gardening shows on TV. I'm not talking about the internet. We don't have any here in Southern California. There's like one. But, you know, this is what we need, is to go back and watch the old shows. And that's what I was doing last night. The old shows were fascinating. Nature fascinates me. And there was one guy I was watching on an old show saying how we need the birds. They were trying to get rid of their snails. And he was explaining, you need all that. You need the insects, he was saying, to bring in the proper animals that eat that stuff. It all will balance out. Yes, I've got rabbits. But you know what? They may be eating a lot, but they're not eating everything. Obviously, they're not eating everything. I still have to clean up and pick the yellow leaves and the browning leaves and compost them. They're not eating everything. They're eating some. But you know what? They're pooping in my garden, so they're also doing their thing for my garden too. I want nature in my garden. And I don't mind some insects because they bring the birds and the birds are feeding on them, and it's like it's well balanced. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. I do want a good balance. So right now everything is balanced. You need water to bring in the birds. You can feed them, but if you want them to live in your area, nest in your area, raise their babies in your garden, and come back and teach the babies to feed there, you need to have a little bit of water of some sort. They need food and water and shelter. The shelter they'll pick up from the trees, but that doesn't necessarily have to be in your garden. That could be across the hill because they move. They will move around, but they will stay in your area and feed on your garden as far as insects. And yes, they may nibble a little bit of greens. They might take the occasional tomato and peck at it, but all in all, they need it. So anyways, it's pouring, and I just wanted to say we're doing fine. I just would like to work in my garden a little bit and clean it up, make it look a little nice, get some stuff done. But you know what? Once this is all done, I think I'm ready to start planting squash out. It's still cool at night. We're having a cold spell this week. They said we're going to be down to 40 degrees. I know people are laughing because it's like below zero. But, you know, that's cold for here. I want to get a lot of moringa trees growing. And I have a way of planting my moringa trees because I'll tell you something, they don't transplant well a lot of times. So people that said they're going to run out and go buy moringa trees, no. I mean, you can. Oh, stop. I don't want to say no. You can. But the moringa trees that we have purchased in the past never made it. I'm not saying that that's everybody, but the ones we planted from seeds are the ones that are doing better. And seeds, they grow so fast. So with that, I guess I won't be working in my garden unless it stops raining, then I can run out there. But at least I've got some more dumped in my red tub over there, and it's doing its thing. All the plants are getting wonderful rainwater. And, well, the good thing is I don't have to water. Probably not for a week. Have a great day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody. And plant something. Bye-bye.